Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Real Talk here on Shelbyville Now.
Hello.
We are coming at you live, today, and it's Thursday, April the 2nd.
April the 2nd. We got through April Fool's Day. April 1st is
without
over.
too much nonsense.
Foolery. I didn't experience much
But you know,
foolery.
at this point, Bo, I hear so much stuff that I don't know if it's a lie or the truth anymore. It could all be April Fool's.
Every day seems like April Fool's, but until I find out it's real.
It feels like April Fool's Day and Groundhog Day all at the same time sometimes.
Well, welcome, everybody. Glad to have everybody join us.
Before we get going in this, I need to read a disclaimer. First of all, I want to check our status and make sure I don't see how Restream has changed our control panel once again.
They have quarterly meetings, and they're like, "What can we change this week, this month, this quarter? Come on, put the live button over here."
Every new update comes out with new stuff.
They want to keep you on your toes, David, and they're doing a great job.
Yeah,
I would have to commend them. I have
a
a software that I deal with in appraisals, and they do the same thing. They just want to keep you on your toes, change things around.
Yeah.
Never want to stay the same, but that's fine.
I don't know if it's on your toes or what, but
it's on my nerves. That's a lot of times.
That's pretty much. And there you go. Okay,
hey, we're
sorry
live
about that. We are live.
We are live and ready to roll.
All right. Before we get started, I want to read our disclaimer and let everybody know what's going on. We want to be transparent with all the viewers out there. Bo is currently a declared candidate for Bedford County Commissioner here in District 5. Real Talk remains an editorial program under the full control of Shelbyville Now. This platform is not affiliated with any campaign, and we will offer equal access to all qualified candidates in this race. Our goal is to provide an open discussion of issues facing Bedford County while maintaining fairness and transparency. And this show that we've been doing has been going on for 4 years now.
Yeah.
It started out as Ahead of the Curve, and then went to Bedford County Talk Live, and then we decided let's just change it to Real Talk. Because that's our goal, is just to talk about stuff that's real.
We talk to each other in private, and we're like, hey, this is Real Talk, and then here we are. We thought, hey, let's let the people get in on our nonsense.
Yeah, that's absolutely total nonsense. But some of it turns out to be pertinent stuff. And I got a list a mile long.
It is. I like to be funny with it, but I appreciate everybody for tuning in, because we do want to just keep you informed and just have some real talk about it.
Talk about what's going on in current events, and it doesn't necessarily have to happen here.
No.
We'll try to tie it back to Bedford County, how it affects our lives.
Right.
But
we try to hit all aspects, all boards.
Before we dive into today's list, we need to say a special thank you for our sponsors, 580 Graphics here in Shelbyville.
Oh, yes.
Over on Thompson Street for all your signs, banners, graphics,
wraps,
embroidering,
wrap the cars, they
sign making. Man, shirts. You do it. They do it all.
I'm amazed by all that they do. So if you need something that has to do with any type of sign or your logo, call them. They can probably put it on something.
Yeah. And then we've got another sponsor, Bobo Construction and Land Management. They can do just about everything.
I've seen some great houses that Matthew's built. I've seen some great land clearing, some management of land. He's one of your professionals. Hey, he's homegrown too. I went to school with him. I know him and his family well. He's Bedford County. So
two top-notch businesses that we're proud that they're sponsors.
Very proud.
And we want to say thanks to them. Let's hear from them, and we'll be right back and dive into our list of very important information. All righty.
Looking to make your brand stand out? At 580 Graphics in Shelbyville, we turn your ideas into bold, professional results. From custom logo design to screen printing, embroidery, vehicle wraps, decals, banners, and signage, we handle it all in-house with precision and fast turnaround. Whether you're a small business, a church group, a sports team, or a growing company, our experienced design team works with you every step of the way to bring a vision to life. We don't just print graphics. We help you get noticed. Exceptional service, eye-catching design, results that speak for themselves. Visit 580 Graphics today and let your brand make a statement.
When your project needs a strong foundation, trust experience that delivers results. At Bobo Construction and Land Management, we bring over 25 years of expertise to every job, from demolition, land clearing, and site preparation, to underground utilities, drainage solutions, concrete, asphalt, and building pads. We handle every phase with precision and professionalism, serving residential, commercial, and industrial clients across Middle Tennessee. Our team is committed to quality work, clear communication, and projects completed safely and on schedule. For dependable results you can build on, choose Bobo Construction and Land Management.
All righty, welcome back in here to Real Talk. And howdy, Jason Sanders.
Hello, Jason
Thanks
Sanders.
for tuning in today. Give us a shout out, anybody that's watching out there. We'd like to know who's out peeking in on us. I want to start out today by talking about two big things that's happened. Late yesterday afternoon, we saw Artemis launch and go into orbit. Minor problems, but nothing major so far. And they're orbiting and they're getting further out, and they're about to pop the button and go break into the oblong orbit that will take them to toward the moon. Okay,
yes.
Hopefully to and around the moon and then back.
Yes. I'm a kid of the '80s, so I remember the Challengers and the space shuttle program kind of right at the tail end. It's neat to see this happening again. I mean, I think it kind of rejuvenates us to get to think more about outer space and about rockets and about maybe the young people about, how to develop them. And this is just a great time. I hope that we can get a lot of benefits from this type of, I guess a study is what they're calling it.
Back in the day when I was a kid, it was the middle of the Cold War.
Yes.
And back in the early 60s, people were looking up at the Russian satellite Sputnik.
Oh, yeah.
And they were tore up about that. So we got to have a space program. So John F. Kennedy comes out and said, we're going to escalate our space exploration. And we're going to go do one better. We're going to put a man on the moon. Mm-hmm. Now, that happened. I mean, there was a lot of tragedy. There was a lot of problems. And that technology was 1960s technology, Bo.
Mm-hmm,
all right. And it is 2026.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So what happened to the technology to where it just shut off? That's one thing that's bothered me about this whole program to begin with. Why? And then they said we lost the technology. How do you lose the technology to go to the moon, Bo?
You don't lose the technology to go.
What happened?
You don't lose the technology to go to the moon. And I don't know what happened, but I do know that if you shut off innovation and wanting to build further and go further, just like they did in the late 19th century in Germany with medicine and with several things before it got bad with the night. They helped push along civilization where we stopped somewhere.
Yeah, well, I mean, I know the reusable ship in the space shuttle was a big thing until we had that tragedy, the explosion in 1986. I was watching it on TV.
I remember that. The O-ring was
leaking O-ring. Well, they had leaking problems with this one earlier, and it delayed the launch. Okay, so I want to ask everybody out there, who is actually keeping up with Artemis, and are you watching this on a daily basis? It's a 10-day trip. Day 6 should put them behind the moon and shooting around it. Okay, hopefully.
Yeah. Well, here's what I'd like to see. I mean, just me. Right. I'd like to see us land on the moon again. And I'd like to see it on TV again.
Again?
The 2026 version.
The 2026 version.
I mean, right? I mean, why can't we do this, make this a yearly event?
There's some people
that will say broadcast from the moon.
All right, so here's some. There's some people that say we never landed on the moon.
They are. So this will either certify or even if they did again, they would think it's some kind of AI. What do you know? I mean, I would only believe it if I was with them.
Today, here's the thing: the technology to get signals back to the Earth is still a challenge.
Yes.
Okay, you do it with satellites.
They could broadcast,
but how?
Well, they would have to figure it out.
It's like right now, Bo. You can't see a good picture. It's all simulated on the NASA website when you go there. So the ability to transmit video back is still a challenge.
Yes, but it wasn't in 1969. I mean,
well, everything we saw on TV was like a simulation.
Yeah, and that's yeah.
All right, so we're not even gonna go down this. All right. There have been many discoveries made from space exploration. Yeah.
Oh, I love. I mean,
I'm all for.
I like space.
Okay, you remember Tang?
Oh, I
the
do
drink?
remember a Tang. I mean, I get the
Food in a tube.
yes, the
That's-
tube
we got
and
that,
and the ice cream
and the
that's-
effects that
Yeah.
that no gravity
Oh,
has on the body.
it
That's
does, but
important.
but he's right because
that's your mom.
as far as but as far as like weaponry and things like that, I mean that came a long way. I mean we needed to know about space exploration. We didn't need to be the Earth. We didn't need the Soviet Union to be the only.
All right.
ones.
Well, let's
We're
change the subject.
Look,
I
I am not a space professional, but I will
I'm not
pretend
either.
to be one. You know,
No,
I do
don't even
know a few.
pretend. Don't even pretend, Bo.
Hey,
All right.
I know that it's blowing up and
Velcro,
also-
Teresa. Yes, said Velcro. All right. That's something that holds things together.
Was that a space deal?
I think their spaceship was held together with Velcro.
That was brilliant. See, and then they brought it back down to Earth and let us all.
No,
enjoy
they
it.
had it on Earth and they put the aluminum foil on with it. All right. So
with the hat. Did they wear their aluminum foil hats?
Yeah, probably. All right. So another thing that came out that's related to space is Tim Burchett. I'm a huge fan of Tim Burchett. And
Hey,
he was on
real
Newsmax.
tall. He's real tall.
Yeah, he will tell it like it is.
He
And
comes on the local radio or the Nashville radio a lot.
Yeah.
And man,
I
love
love his videos.
Yeah, his videos.
He'll
are
come
great.
out of these meetings shaking. He said, "Dadgummit."
Yeah, he's just
All right.
like me and you.
So he did a dadgummit today.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. Yeah.
He was on Newsmax, and you can go watch this video. And to summarize what he said, he's on the UAP UFO committee.
There's a committee
that's getting briefed on all this stuff. Okay, UAPs, UFOs. We know that
this is
alien. That we know that there's several people have testified that we have had biologicals.
Yes.
Aliens. Okay, basically you're saying
Biologicals.
aliens.
Is that what they call biologicals?
In Area 51 and other places.
Yes, that's what I've
Okay.
heard.
All right. Now here's what Tim Burchett said. He said Americans would freak out if they knew what he knew, that they would lay us awake at night about this. And he said, I told President Trump to release it and tell everybody because all these scientists are vanishing or dying or committing suicide that have been in this program. And he made this statement in the interview, I am not suicidal. Now, that's kind of spooky
Well,
for him to say that.
Just, okay, if anybody's watching or listening, look up Tim Burchett, first of all. You'll see that when he talks, he knows what he's talking about. He's a no-nonsense kind of guy. So this coming from him makes me say, well, what
Here's
is it?
Here's the thing. People hear this and they think it's a fairy tale. We're talking about congressional hearings on this stuff, and they come right out and said, I have been to UFO crash sites and picked up biologicals. All right, look up the word biological, what that means.
Biology.
That's a living organism, okay?
Yeah.
Living being.
It has the word biology in it. It's a biological. That's what they're calling them.
Instead of ET, well, they do call them extraterrestrials.
Well, what are we benefiting though from releasing this? Are we finally getting the?
Well, it's our tax money that's paying for it, and I don't know why they're afraid to just come out and tell it.
Okay.
They want to keep something a secret because we know and you don't. It's
So,
almost like this at every government agency there is.
So in other words, they're spending money for it. They've got committees and everything, but they want to keep everything in house. They want to use our money to keep everything.
They don't want us. They don't want anything out to let China and Russia and Iran and Little Rocket Man to know anything. But they know too. They all know. All these government people know this stuff.
Bottom line, if Tim Burchett is saying that we've got some stuff that would blow your mind,
I'm
antennas
all over
are
it.
up.
Okay, he's been saying this. You go to Newsmax, and they talk about this stuff nonstop. But the mainstream news media wants to act like you're a kook if you talk about it.
Oh, they will not. Yeah, you're exactly right.
Okay,
and we know who the kook is, right? I mean, we know who the real
they're
kook
all
is.
kooks.
The 5 o'clock news on your
they're
2, 4,
kooks.
5
All right.
Cooker.
All right, but anyway, you need to go check that out.
Yes, that's
okay.
That's crazy, but check it out.
That was a headline today.
Headline.
Another headline today. This guy in Iran, former Iranian foreign minister Kamal Karazi, was seriously wounded after a strike hit his home in Tehran, and his wife was killed in that attack. Okay, and it was not a random attack; he was targeted. What's so special about this guy is he was working through backdoor channels and communicating with Vice President Vance to set up a meeting in Pakistan so they could talk about a potential ceasefire agreement moving forward. Okay.
Okay.
Now, I don't know if he watched the speech last night from Trump, but he was all over the place. He said, it could be we're going to pull out in a few weeks.
Yeah. It was. Yeah.
Without the straight open or not.
Yeah.
Okay. So, and Iran denies that there's talks going on, but Israel struck this guy's house and killed his wife and targeted him. So it seems like to me, Israel don't want any kind of peace talks going on.
If that's true, then no, they don't. I know that there had been speculations that it came from within the Iran and from the Iranian side because of those. But I believe, did Israel confirm this attack? Is this something that they're trying to play off?
We did. No, the United States confirmed.
They confirmed
that
this
it's
was
all
Israel
over the place.
This so it sounds like exactly what you just said is that Israel don't want to stop shooting bombs and killing folks.
They ain't gonna stop.
And they'll do it and they don't. It doesn't matter the cost.
I feel there's a stress right now on Trump.
Yes.
To pull away from Israel's deal. And here's what I would say.
Yes.
Patrick Bet-David had some experts on the Middle East on his live stream today. And Patrick Bet-David came to the conclusion. He said, here's what Trump needs to do. And I agree with him. He needs to come out and say, we have accomplished everything that we can accomplish. And we're not going to stay here.
No.
We understand that regime change cannot take place without boots on the ground. And we're not going to have boots on the ground. We've done all we can to slow down the development of nuclear weapons. Israel, if you want to keep doing what you got to do, fine, but we're sitting it out.
Yes.
And we're done. And as far as the strait goes, China, get over here and open this up because y'all need this oil more than we do. We got our own. So you need to, unless you want to keep paying this high price for it, come over here and take care of it. They would cut a deal with Iran. But that takes us down another path that we won't talk about.
Yes, it does.
But that Patrick Bet-David live stream lasted 2 hours today, and you need to go watch it.
Well, with what is happening there, it is such a volatile situation. But I'm with that. I'm not just Israel. We can't blindly just hang in there with them. And it has nothing to do about Semite or anti-Semite. It's about common sense.
I think,
and about it's time. Okay, we've done our thing. Let's pull out. Let's go take. We've got some things here at home that need to be ironed out too.
Let's talk about those.
Let's
things.
go.
All right. Okay. Trump has rolled out some new tariffs on drugs coming from any countries, not any countries, but any companies that are foreign, that have not agreed to build and manufacture in the United States. So that's going to hit 100% tariff. Most of them are up to 100%. Now, there's some exemptions, and we don't know what they are yet. He also put a massive tariff on aluminum and steel to where companies were just putting the cost of the product on the invoices, and you pay the tariff on that amount and not the full markup amount. And then they would list it separate. Well, that's over with. Plus, they're going up to like 50, 25, 50, 75% on steel and tariff. Well, steel and aluminum tariffs. All right. So if that takes place, you've got a lot of people that manufacture products in the United States that use this aluminum and steel products coming from China, Malaysia, Taiwan, all these other countries. And if we're having to pay that, the tariffs just go right back into effect, basically like they were before.
It's what we're doing. We're playing the same kind of game. But when you talk about medications, this right here, it's kind of a slap to a face. If you're in India and, they shouldn't have to build on the soil. And if we want to trade with them, we should have a free trade agreement. You know what I mean? I get what he's trying to say. Like, we want your companies to be here, but I also get the other side of it, and I think slapping a tariff like that's going to harm a lot of people here.
Yeah, well, he was just negotiating, trying to get some drug costs down, and did some things to get our costs down.
Yes,
and then turns around and throws these tariffs out there. I am so confused.
I am too.
One day to the next.
I am too, and I just don't know how much we can take. Of gas, of groceries. Now 100% tariffs on steel, aluminum. That affects us all. If you don't have to be in the steel or aluminum industry to be affected by those big time necessities that are important in our economy.
All right. So I've had some comments why do y'all talk about that kind of stuff? Why don't you talk about local stuff? This is local
Yeah,
stuff.
well, it is. And
when your dadgum gas goes up to $4 a gallon, that's a local issue.
And we talk about local stuff, but I mean, you know, when there's not a whole lot of local stuff happening, which you can always say there's local stuff happening, there's houses being built, there's things going on. But look, you can only beat that horse so long. I mean, you can go back and watch a lot of our shows where we've discussed this ad nauseum, and we're going to discuss it again. So slow your roll. Wow, 112. That's not good.
Crude oil, West Texas, $112.06. It closed, and thankfully it don't open tomorrow.
Well, yeah, thankfully, Good Friday.
Well, I think it opens a little bit, but over this weekend, it's not going to trade, and I'm anxious to see where we'll have 3 news cycles within the next 3 days. It seems like our news cycles are just rolling.
Yeah, it seems like it's
okay. So what does all this have to do with local? Okay, it has everything to do with local.
Yes.
I see something happening, Bo, and this has happened in the last few years, but it's really escalating now. And this ain't on our list, but I can see that local governments, state and county, are going to become more and more important the more our Congress and our federal government, our monetary system continues to go in the way it's going. States are now suing the federal government. They're ignoring some of the mandates that are coming down. Certain states are like, well, we're not doing that. We're going this direction. I can see our country starting to fragment in regions, and in certain regions, for instance, the Southeast, saying, hey, we're going to be conservative. And then you see other areas like the West Coast and up in Minnesota, Wisconsin, and Michigan, you starting to see them being more liberal. Okay. I see that our state government specifically starting to be the top dog instead of the federal government.
It is the top dog, and that's the way it should be looked at. And that's the way it was actually intended. It was states' rights.
And I think that was put in as a mechanism. So when the federal government turns into this tyranny,
that's exactly right. And that's what it did.
And a bureaucracy.
And if Paul Engel were here, he could tell us really good, you know, he could back us up with some good constitutional reason. But no, it is state rights. You know, if you want to be with those like-minded, say, liberals up north in Minnesota, good or bad, whatever, if that's your people, then that's the way it was intended, for you to move and to be with like-minded people. You know, I think that's kind of why state rights is so important, so that you're not federally, you know, bound to somebody in Washington, you know, ultimately, even though you are federal, you know, in a certain sense, because we all are Americans. The states' rights that's where our bread and butter is, and we have to make sure
states' rights, and then below that, individual rights.
Yes,
then that's where our Constitution comes in.
That's it. Right? That's it. It's states' rights, state rights, individual rights. In between, you know, it's we the people. I mean, I know you hear a lot, but think about it. So, I mean, that's what we do.
Thinking about this, Bo. I mean, we're not. I don't think the United States will ever reach to the point where we'll have another civil war like we had before. I think what we're seeing right now is a grouping of states and regions coming together and say, well, we're just going to do our thing.
Well, and that's okay if that's the way it's going to be. It's much better than disharmony or chaos. If they want to live in harmony in those areas, that's okay. But if they start ill intent or forming some type of militias, or if the federal government goes in and is not welcome when they're, because look, the federal government does have the right to come into states, but it has limited rights. But the federal, that right there is worked out a lot of times in the Supreme Court, but that can be a clash sometimes.
Well, you're starting to see states do certain things that people say, well, that's not constitutional. So we're going to do it. Let the courts figure it out later.
Yeah, that's what's happening.
And we are basically seeing, I think, what's called silent succession. Their states are seceding. They're seceding from the federal government umbrella and say, we're going to do our own thing over here, but we're going to stay under your umbrella because we need your military. And we need the monetary system but we're going to do our own thing. And I think that's what you're starting to see. And I think that's the way you see the empire of America settling. And that's where we're headed.
And I think it's okay to do your own thing, but you still have to be, it still has to be lawful under federal constitutional law. You know, I think that that's where we should be.
Well, that Constitution is for everybody.
It is.
And that's why it's so important for you to read Paul Engel's book,
Yes,
The
Paul
Constitution Study.
Locally,
putting in a plug for Paul, you need to go to his website, but these individual rights,
constitutionstudy.com, I believe that's it.
Constitutionstudy.com. So I don't know how this all plays out, Bo, but this war makes you take a look at things, and you see so much stuff happening within our government that looks like they'll never get things together in Washington.
They won't. And where we can have a little bit of a better chance of getting things together is right here locally. And just to hit the point of what's most important, home is most important. And this is where you can access those leaders that can access up to those, you know, certain areas and protect to where you are. But speaking of local, I want to go do a free plug for the art. It's called, let me get the name out again. I forgot. The Art Horde. And it's right beside Piggly Wiggly. You know where Piggly Wiggly is?
Yep, big time sponsor for us.
Yeah, you know, I draw, I kind of dabble and draw with pencils a lot. Right. So I saw the Art Horde and I went by there today. They sell Musgrave pencils. I've got a pack here. I bought a pack from them. I bought a couple other things, but I thought that was wonderful to see a local supporting local. And anybody that thought Musgrave didn't still make pencils, they make pencils and they make fine pencils. And I can't wait to start a new project.
I think they're the only company now left in Shelbyville that actually manufactures pencils in-house.
This is it. So and you can buy them in packs and you can buy them in singles. And that's the Art Horde. And that's right there next to Piggly Wiggly. You can't miss it. Go check them out. Great people there, but I just wanted to say that right quick because I stopped by.
That is our connection to local, Bo, and that's what holds everybody together. I think society is honestly held together by local relationships more so than our federal government. Our federal government can't get out of its own way right now.
No, it can't.
And I think our state government is doing a good job of holding everything together within the confines of our state because we actually got some voter laws already in place. Okay. That don't contradict what they're trying to pass in Washington, where you have to have an ID to vote.
I'm proud to be a Tennessean. I really am.
We are one of the most conservative states out there. And you look, and here's what I look at, man. You got Mississippi, you got Alabama, Georgia is still kind of borderline, and Florida. All these states connect. Louisiana, we're conservative. Then you go over into Texas. You look at Arkansas, Kentucky's basically at the state level in the House, they've got a liberal, but throughout the area in the rural areas, they're conservative.
They are.
So that's one thing that we see throughout the Southeast. Your big cities, a lot of them are liberal, but still the state is carried by conservatives that live in small communities.
They are.
And that's us. That's who
exactly
Shelbyville,
right.
Tennessee is.
That is exactly
that's who Beaver County is.
That's who we are, and that's who we intend to keep being, because that's, you know, when you are what you are, that's who you are.
All right, I want to end on this note. The Grindstone Cowboy has started a project in Santa Rosa Beach, Florida. Now, why would they do that? First of all, there's a Tennessee connection to that area. The Gulf Coast, the Emerald Coast, as it's called, is visited by a high majority of people that live in this area.
Oh yeah,
they travel to the Gulf Coast for vacation.
You're probably going to see somebody, you know.
Oh yeah,
you think you're getting away, you're going to see somebody from Shelbyville.
Actually, you're going to know, especially the last week of August during the horse show. But they've started their project, and there is a video showing where it's kind of like in a strip mall, I think, of what they're going to do. But they're going to have an establishment very similar to what we have here.
Wow. So the Grindstone Cowboy will be in Florida, and they've already got 2 locations here in Tennessee. This will be their third.
This will be their third.
So that means that, you know, when people are going down there, they're going to say,
they're going to go there.
The Grindstone Cowboy, where else are y'all? Well, you ever heard of Shelbyville, Tennessee? Yeah. And maybe somebody might say no, but we might go, you know.
I don't know.
Hey, I know that's a long shot, but hey, you got to.
You think somebody from Santa Rosa Beach, Florida, is going to come to Shelbyville,
Tennessee? They get tired of that beach.
Man, have you ever been to Santa Rosa?
No, but I've been to Shelbyville, and let me tell you something. I love it.
They ain't got
I know.
Shelbyville don't have a beach.
We do. Normandy. Go to Normandy. Stick your toes in the water. No. But just don't say we don't. We do. We do.
All right,
we got beaches.
John Hart saying here, I don't keep up with space activity. A friend had me watch this, an eye opener. Oh, I'm afraid to, John. What is it? I'm afraid to, John. I don't want to click that link.
Watch out. You might get it.
I'll check it out later.
We'll check it out later.
But guys, it's good to see.
No,
that,
the Grindstone
the
Cowboys
Grindstone
spreading
is-
the wings.
yeah.
Look, great people, great business. They're successful. They're thriving here. I'm proud for them, and they'll probably have many more. This is just the start for them. It
Yeah.
sounds like.
All right, so shifting a little bit more local, we've got just a couple more minutes
Oh,
here.
yeah.
You're in campaign mode. We've got the Republican primary coming up on May the 5th. Bo, just from what you're seeing out there, what's the scuttlebutt? What's the talk on the street as far as election goes? I'm not talking about specific
Yeah.
races, but
Yeah.
are people starting to get focused on it? Or are they still like looking around and not really
There's
focused?
a little bit of both. There's those that were already focused. There are those that were already plugged in, and then there are those that say, now there's the primary, and then the general. Explain that. And then there's those in between. But I am getting a good feel that people are plugged in. I'm seeing a lot of participation in the county throughout, seeing signs, seeing people voice who their favorite candidate is. That's always a good thing. The main topic that I'm still hearing is the growth and the preparation for the future of Bedford County. And is that something in our thoughts, and as well as other things. But I'm seeing, I think the warmer it's getting, it's really since April started yesterday, you're starting to feel you got Easter coming up. You're starting to feel a little sense of people moving out. I think the chatter is going to get even bigger, but especially here closer to the primary. But the primary, there are a few contended races. There will be some that will eliminate some fellow Republicans that are running against each other that'll move on to the general election. But I believe your chatter is really going to start, after that primary in most of the races we have throughout the county. But there's going to be you're going to get ready here in the next real soon to be a big push during the primary, because the primary date is May 5th, and the early voting
it starts April 15th.
Yeah. So, good luck to everybody out there, and it'll be coming up. But
here, I got a question for you and for people out there. You being a candidate, you experience this, and me being a citizen in Bedford County, I experience this, and I think everybody out there does. How much impact do election signs make in the election? How much difference does it make? Are you undecided one day and you're just driving down the road and say, "Oh, Bo Kill, I think I'll just vote for him because I saw his sign"? Do you think that's in play, or do you think it's just there just as a reminder? Do you think it has an impact on the election overall, or is it just something everybody does?
I think it's something that everybody does. I think that it could have an impact on the election, because there are uninformed voters still, believe it or not.
Oh, gosh,
and there are those that just know what, they've driven by several times and they've seen a lot of signage, and then they say, I'll go for it. Or there are those that do the opposite of that. I'm tired of seeing his sign. I'm going to vote for somebody against it. It can work in a lot of different ways. I think that now that I'm part of a campaign, seeing it, I see, that you feel compelled that if there's another sign out there, well, you're running too. You want to put a sign there too. I think it's just a way that, you want to get your name out. But as far as, I think that there's value to it. I won't say that there's no value to it, and that it shouldn't, that if somebody didn't put signage out, I think that it would probably hinder your chances more than help. But I don't know if it really makes the biggest, the overall decision. I think it's the person, it's the character, it's, what your friends say, what other people say, vouching for them. But we're going to see a lot of them. There might be people that say, okay, whoever's got the most signs, I'm voting for. Whoever's got the least signs. They might play games like that. I hope they don't.
Are you kidding me?
I hope they don't.
Oh my
But
God.
the signs are already out. Yes, I've got signs out, but I will start putting more signs out after the primary, since I'm not running in the primary.
All right. John Hart comes in there and says 0. And I think he's answering the question, how much effect does it have on the election?
Yeah.
I think he's saying 0. All right. I'm going to agree with that to a point. But I do think that there are people that are not plugged in at all. And they're walking around at the last minute, whenever it's time to go vote. Who are you going to vote for, Sally? I don't know. Who are you voting for? All right. Now, I just wish they'd stay home.
Yeah. Yeah.
Honestly.
I
really.
do too. I do too.
I mean,
if you're an uninformed voter, and I've said this for a long time, just stay home. You're just kind of
messing it up.
Yeah, you are. But the sign, the sign overall, an impact, if you want to say, is impact, no, not much one.
Okay.
But will it catch a few voters? I think it will.
Okay.
I think it does.
All right, I'm going to open this can of worms up. we have a political action committee that's active in Bedford County, and they're giving money to certain candidates. Okay, that's like a political action committee. We've talked about this before, but it's kind of like a lobbyist in Washington, D.C. They're backing their certain candidates because they want certain things done.
Yeah.
So the question becomes, has anybody asked if they've taken money from a political action committee or not? If your candidate has, you're pretty much wasting your vote on that candidate because they're already bought and paid for.
You're exactly right. And then there will be financials that you'll be seeing pretty soon that have to be turned in by each candidate. But I can say I've not been approached by a PAC, and I have not accepted money by a PAC. I just know me independently. Everybody else can do what they want to do, but I decided to run on my own funds, funds from my family and myself.
Yeah. Oh, I think that's what most people want to see. They want to see that somebody's not bought and paid for.
No.
And the influence that comes with that, it's very similar to Washington, D.C. All the lobbyists up there. There's not very many people in Washington, D.C. that are voting on behalf of the people that are actually voting on behalf of the people. They're voting on on deals that they cut behind the scenes. You give me this vote here, and I'll give you that vote there. And then this lobbyist group comes in, and they go and they make a donation to their foundation. Everybody's got a foundation that somehow ends up in their bank account at some point.
Foundations. It could be dangerous, but there's two people who support me and support me my whole life, and that's my mother and dad, and those are the family members that are still as an adult. I'm glad to know and glad to have them to still be able to support me, and it's just through love.
That's logical. That's logical.
It's a lobby for love, I guess. They love me so.
But I don't think that there's any place in Bedford County for Washington shenanigans.
No, not at all. I mean, it's the last place it needs to be, and if anything, it should be talked against and run out of town. This is
absolutely,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. All right, we're going to end on that note.
Yeah, that sounds
Thanks
good.
Everybody for watching. We appreciate you tuning in and bearing with us through all these different rabbits that we chase.
Yes,
but we want to end by saying have a great Easter weekend coming up.
Yes.
Tomorrow's Good Friday. A lot of people are not. Of course, the kids are out of school, and there's a lot of people not working tomorrow, but some people do have to work, unfortunately.
Yes.
But have a great weekend with your family. Hopefully you get to go to a house of worship of your choice and celebrate the risen Lord.
Amen. Amen.
And